Cincinnati off a huge victory at Pittsburgh. And now with the next 3 games against teams that have combined 4 victories, it's a chance for Cincinnati to get to 10-2. Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you here on the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers. It starts with Oakland, then you get Cleveland, then you get Detroit before going to Minnesota. So this is a great opportunity for Cincinnati to start pulling away here, especially in the AFC North. You got to do it first, and you got to win at Oakland. They went out, they signed Larry Johnson. Do you like the move?
You know, the cynic would say you're adding a bad ingredient to the formula, but I think Marvin was very clear to this guy. You're not really playing here unless we need you. This is said Benson's team. Now, Ced's dealing with a hip injury, and he'll be questionable to go. We could see Larry, but I think more likely he's going to be inactive for this game. He's a nice insurance policy, and he came cheap.
Well, that's the other part of it. But the other thing, too, Pat, is that Mike Brown has the history of bringing in guys with whatever character issue you want to call it. And Larry Johnson, his attitude, this is a special locker room that they've got going on right now. This is something special that Cincy has, and they're very happy about it and very proud of it. Do you like bringing in a guy that the attitude, if he doesn't start getting the touches, may be there?
It's always volatile, and they're always vulnerable to going back to the way they were. But I speak to so many of those players every week. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they've got this thing under control and the emotions of it all. And it's still Chad Johnson is the class clown in that place. I don't think Larry does anything but sits quietly and waits for the chance to play again, because he saw what happened to Ced Benson when they brought Ced Benson in there, and it's going to be Ced Benson's team. So, no, I don't think there's going to be a problem.
Ced Benson, a little younger, had fewer carries on him, but yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Meanwhile, for Oakland, it's always volatile. It's always up in the air. And at this point, Tom Cable, as we sit here on Thursday, has not said who his starting quarterback is going to be. He's benched Jamarcus Russell twice in the last 3 games. Does it matter to you who the starter is right now in Oakland?
It's going to be Gradkowski. It will not be.
If he's healthy. If he's not healthy, it could be Charlie Fry.
Well, Fry or Gradkowski, it doesn't matter. They will manage the game better than Jamarcus Russell, who's totally lost in space, and they've had enough. And here's the reason they're doing it. They've already figured out a couple times we got to bench the guy, we're going to lose. But, you know, they also know that the reason they got behind is because of Jamarcus. And I am being critical of the guy. He's on his way to being Ryan Leaf if he keeps it up the way he is. And I don't think he handles the pressure. His body language on the sideline when he was told to sit down was inappropriate. So it's going to be Fry. But you know what I'd be doing? I'd be calling Jeff Garcia and getting Jeff Garcia back.
He has no desire to come back to Oakland.
Oh, yes,
why would you come to a 2-7 team when they didn't want you from Jamarcus Russell in the first place?
Because he then would redeem himself that he knew he was the right guy for the job. They need to get Garcia now. I'm not telling them how to do their business. Yes, I am. Get Garcia in there right now.
All right, well, let's see what happens with that. That's something to play out for another issue. But, Pat, you're talking about an offense in Oakland that couldn't move the ball on Kansas City. You're talking about a Pittsburgh offense that couldn't move it on Cincinnati. Put those two together. How in the world would Oakland move the ball in Cincinnati in this football game?
If the Bengals came out there and were flat and there was a letdown.
Like Philadelphia.
Yes, and emotion is a big factor in defense. But I think Zimmer's got these guys playing real hard. They've got some backups playing. They didn't have Keith last week, Keith Rivers, but they got guys to come in and play. They'll play fine against this team. They're number 2 in the NFL, I believe, against the run.
Yep, Pittsburgh's number 1.
They're number 2 against the run on a team that absolutely has to run the ball and an offensive line that's not very good run blockers right now. Cincinnati may start out slow, but by the end of the first quarter, Mike Zimmer will have them playing hard again, and they'll get the wake-up call, and they'll get this job done.
All right, I know you like Cincinnati. Is it, as your term of the day has been, by more than a touchdown?
I'm going to ask you that question. Do you like them by more than a touchdown?
I like them by more than a touchdown.
You heard it here first, folks.
Actually, you've heard it from him all day. 4:15 p.m. Eastern on CBS. For more on this game, stay with CBSSports.com. That'll do it for the NFL Preview Show presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty good man snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.